In a previous lesson, we took a brief look at creating a design composition for the Apple iPad in Adobe Photoshop CS6. While Photoshop is a great choice for creating graphics, Adobe Fireworks also offers a fast and intuitive environment for creating graphics for your media and e-learning projects. When it comes to creating and optimizing vector and bitmap graphics, themes, wireframes, and mockups, I personally believe that Adobe Fireworks is the best solution for the job. In this lesson, we'll take a quick look at some of the tools that you can use in Adobe Fireworks to create a design prototype for a mobile version of our Safari SAM e-learning course. While you may or may not choose to design this type of mobile application in Adobe Captivate, Fireworks will get you started with the design process, and it also provides some great support for jQuery Mobile and CSS Sprites. We can also export straight from Adobe Fireworks to PDF and preserve some basic interactive linking for our review process. Let's get started on our mobile app design in Adobe Fireworks CS6. Adobe Fireworks comes with some really nice features in the box to help you get started quickly with your mobile design. In this lesson, we're going to focus on using the template items as well as using the common library iOS objects to build our graphics within Fireworks. Let's take a look at the template by going to File and dropping down to New from Template. Here you'll find quite a few directories with various types of graphic templates for you to get started. Notice that we've got grid systems for common grid CSS development, as well as a mobile directory with a few getting started designs. In this case, I'm going to open up the Wireframes directory and then open the iPhone PNG. Once you have this template open in Adobe Fireworks, you'll see all of the different user interface controls that you can use to design on the Apple iOS interface. Notice over here in the Layers panel, there's quite a few layers in this document. I'm going to scroll back over to the actual iPhone frame, and notice in the Layers panel I can turn off the background, and then I'll also turn off the parts, and I'm left with two visible layers, the iPhone frame and the in-place examples. I'm going to expand the in-place examples, and you'll see that there's quite a few subfolders here that I can turn on and off the visibility and see the various UI controls as they're placed within the frame. This will give you a great idea of how to get started with various sizes and control objects. For more about the iOS controls in the UI, be sure to check out Apple's iOS Developer Library. Here you'll find an explanation of how all of these controls work within the Apple iOS system. The iOS Developer Library and this graphic template are two great resources for getting to know the various controls that you can work with for the design. However, there's a lot of information in this file, and what I'd like to do is just start from the ground up and build these user interface components one by one, piece by piece. So I'm going to close out this template, and then I'll create a brand new file by choosing File and dropping down to New. I want to create a document with a specific width of 379 and a height of exactly 741. When I have that width and height, I'll choose 72 for the resolution and just leave the canvas color as white for now. I'll click OK to create the new document. Once I have this new document created in Adobe Fireworks, I'm going to primarily be focusing on two different panels. One is the Common Library panel, and in the Common Library panel we will expand the Wireframe iPhone objects. We'll be working with these objects as well as the Layers panel. Between these panels we should be able to build our graphic comp from ground up. So first of all, I'll scroll down the Wireframe iPhone list until I find the Frames section. You'll notice that there's two different frames, a black and a white, and as I click on these objects, you can see a thumbnail image in the preview window. For this composition, I'm going to use the frame black. All I have to do is simply drag it out onto the canvas from the Common Library. I can also make sure that I have pixel placement by checking out the Y and X coordinates and making sure that they're both set to 0. And here's the starting framework for my iPhone design. Notice that by default this layer has the name of layer 1, so I'm going to change that by double-clicking on the layer and giving it the name of iPhone Frame. Be sure to continually save your changes as you begin to build your iPhone design. The most basic design idea for building out our iPhone application is to replicate the various views that the user will see whenever they're interacting with the app. In a typical view-based app, you coordinate the on-screen views using your view controller objects, and the app will always have one view controller that's responsible for presenting all of the content on the screen. In Adobe Fireworks, we're going to replicate the various views using different layers. So in this example, I'll lock down the iPhone frame and I'll roll it up, and then I'll create a new layer, and I'll give this layer a new view name, and I'll call it View Twitter. In this view state of the application, we're going to give the user some objects in which they can interact with the app and post information up to their Twitter account. So with this layer selected, I'll go back down into the common library, and the first object that I'll use for this example is the status bar. I can drag the status bar out to the canvas, and you'll notice that we can place it in the very top portion of the iPhone frame. The next object that I'll work with is the Twitter control object. I'll scroll down in the common library, select the Twitter control object, and then once again drag it out to the layer and place it on top of the iPhone frame at the very bottom. At this point, our composition has a pretty good replication of the control objects that the user would see whenever they hit this view state of the iPhone application. Now that you have a basic understanding and an example of working with the common library objects as well as layers inside of Adobe Fireworks, you can create as many layers as you'd like for the different view states of your app. Once you've created various layers, you can turn on and off the visibility of the layers to view and modify your design. However, what we've been dealing with so far are the basic iOS control objects that are found in the developer library. In our app, we want to start building in our custom graphics, and in the next lesson, I'll show you how to import custom graphics and build a custom graphic interface for our eLearning app. Thanks so much for joining us for this VHOT training video lesson. For more training videos, please join our YouTube channel or visit us at VHOTraining.com. If you need online live instructor-led training with the best instructors in the business, please visit us at www.virtualhandsontraining.com.